Hello, loves. Hello, hello. Hills here from the Blue Flame. How are we all doing? Ooh. This past weekend has been quite the activating portal, hasn't it? I'm wondering how many of us got to see the light show, the Northern Lights, Aurora Borealis, or the Southern Lights, the Aurora Astrius, I think it's called. For some reason, my brain just went, but I believe it's the Astritus, which is the southern version. The light show, the dome that protects the earth from the solar winds and the solar storms and the electromagnetic energy that flows from Sol it thinned all the way down to the southern parts of the United States and the southern parts of Europe, allowing people who normally would never have seen these spectral displays to see them. I saw pictures that looked amazing from like Tucson, Arizona, and from Kentucky and other such places that normally would not see them. Here in San Francisco, I got a little bit, but we had some fog and we also have a lot of light pollution, so that makes things a little more difficult. But I did get to feel all of the energy, and I still am. This storm is not anywhere near over. If anything, we are picking up speed and magnitude with regard to solar activity over the next couple of months, kind of straight through to what they're currently predicting the peak of the solar maximum, this 11-year cycle that we're in, to be the first week of July, which just so happens to coincide with a stellar gateway event we call the Sirius portal, which is when the sun conjuncts with the stellar dimension of Sirius. So as our soul star, the sun, is in conjunction, moving in union with the stellar dimension of Sirius, which many believe is the soul star of our star, the stellar codes will be hitting their peak amplification. The sun, our sun, will be at its peak amplification. The solar storms that we moved through in the last week are a appetizer for this entree. Now, this actually perfectly aligns us to the energy that I came on today to talk about, which is not quite yet our Sagittarius full moon, which is on the 23rd. I will have another video where we talk more about that, but it is about a series of stellar conjunctions, portal or gateway events that we are beginning to move into as I'm recording this. Today, the moment of my recording of this video is the 13th of May here in California, and the sun is exactly conjunct Uranus. So all of that amplified energy, that electromagnetic energy, that's what Uranus, I was going to use the word controls, but is a reflection of, is a better way to put it. Uranus is a reflection of electromagnetic energy, of the lightning, electricity, our technologies. Uranus has a symbiotic relationship with technology. So as we have moved through this massive portal of stellar activity, which is still going on, the sun has been moving closer and closer and closer to Uranus and into this conjunction today. Over the next couple of days, the sun will continue on making the exact conjunction with Jupiter still in Taurus. This conjunction is happening right around the 27-28 degree of Taurus, which also is where the fixed star Algol is located. So Algol, if you haven't heard me talk about this star before, is in the location where Perseus is holding the severed head of Medusa, and the location is where her third eye would be. So the energy is of sight, sightedness and intuition. It is sight beyond our visual sight, knowing, understanding, gnosis. This kind of open channel ability to understand. An ability to understand, to see things that are beyond current understanding might be another way to feel into the energy of this particular star. It is also very connected to the reclaiming of story. This is Medusa after all. This star also has been known by the name of the demon star. The reason it's been called the demon star is because prior to our ability to visually see it, to connect with it through telescopic means, we did not understand that Algol is a binary star system. And so when every couple of weeks or so it would eclipse itself and disappear from our skies, early astronomers believed that it was malevolent in some way, that it was not trustworthy. And can we feel into Algol as an untrustworthy star being at the third eye of a feminine archetype like Medusa? The intuition, the body wisdom that the feminine tends to represent, being untrustworthy. And how does that play into the last 2 to 3, maybe even 4,000 years of earthly history? And I used history importantly there. So from the 16th through the 18th, as the sun comes into conjunction with Jupiter, the expander, the benevolent, and also Zeus, which is the other name of Jupiter, the god of the gods, Sol will also be traveling through the Algol gateway. So we are expanding our connection to our intuition, to our bodily wisdom, the knowing, the gnosis of our bodies. Feel into, I'm going to invite you now, feel into that Algol exists in a disembodied head, and allowing this Tauran energy, this Taurus energy that Jupiter, the sun, and Algol all reside within from our earthly perspective, to help us remember our physicality, the intuition, the knowing of our bodies. And that is a feminine practice. When we feel that Kundalini energy, which is something else that Medusa represents, we are inviting our lower chakras to come online in order to activate our higher chakras. This is a feminine practice. Embodied practice. Maybe we can leave behind roles of defining a feminine practice and a masculine practice as we travel through this portal and say, this is an embodied practice. Then as we continue on, just as the sun leaves the gateway event of Algol on the 19th, moves into conjunction with Alcyone, the great central sun of the Pleiades. Now, this is the Pleiades gateway event, and it lasts from about the 19th through the 21st of May, and it coincides with the sun's shift from Taurus, the embodied plane of Taurus, to the expressive plane of Gemini. So Alcyone exists between 29 of Taurus and 0 of Gemini. This is the current area where Alcyone is dancing. And Alcyone, we call Alcyone the great central sun of the Pleiades. It is the point which each of the 6 other sisters orbit, each of them orbiting the great central sun. And we here, from our earthly perspective, our soul system in orbit with Sirius is also, these 2 stellar dimensions are in orbit around Alcyone. You feel these interconnected circles. Now, the Pleiades gateway event, this is a beautiful time to connect in with the energies of birth and death. Birth and death. The Pleiades represent both our embodied birthing and that moment of leaving the body at death, returning to stellar self. When we connect in during this portal, we can receive great amounts of wisdom about where we have been as a soul, how our soul has traveled, and where we are going next. This does not mean where we're going after death, but what is our next step as an embodied being? This is also a great time to connect in and allow yourself to let go of anything that's ready to go, and to connect into anything that's ready to birth up, out, and through you. Like I said, the Pleiades and Alcyone are very connected to the life cycles of the human being, of our stellar dimension here in this solar system. So we can connect to this, to birth as well as to release. Then, as the month of May continues, we come into another stellar conjunction. This time it's Aldebaran, which is sometimes called the Silver Gateway. Aldebaran has been called one of the portals in which an incoming soul travels on their way into an earthly incarnation. There are more than one, but Aldebaran is connected to this energy of like transfer station. If Arcturus is the weigh station where we weigh our options, Aldebaran is where you would travel through, one of the places that you would travel through if upon the weighing and the review and planning sessions of a life, you come through the transfer station of Aldebaran. Aldebaran can connect us in very strongly with this incarnation's journey, this incarnation's mission, and how we might shift anything in it. This portal is open from the 28th of May through the 30th. That's when the sun is in conjunction with Aldebaran. Now, interestingly, at the same moment of this conjunction, Venus in Taurus and Jupiter in Taurus on the 29th of May. I'm sorry. Let's rewind. Because I was about to make a mistake that I have made a couple of times, because I keep wanting to make the Venus-Jupiter conjunction on the 29th. It is on the 23rd, the day of the Sagittarius full moon. There's another event happening on the 29th that's pretty big. But if we can feel in, we have the sun moving through the Alcyone gateway on its way to the Aldebaran gateway. And right in between there, we have that Sagittarius full moon at the 2 degree of Gemini Sagittarius for the sun and moon. And on that same day, we have the Jupiter-Venus conjunction, which is happening, as I said, at the 29th degree of Taurus, which means exactly with the Alcyone star. So we have the sun making its conjunction. Then we have Venus and Jupiter in conjunction with each other, making their conjunction with Alcyone. And then together, Venus and Jupiter, Venus first, tip over into Gemini, and Venus on its way, on her way, on its way, on their way, to their conjunction with the sun, the Venus star point, which is on June the 4th at 14 degrees of Gemini. So just after the Aldebaran. Did you get your pen out for this? You may want to go back to connect in with these dates. And as I said, that 29th date is important because that is the day that Mars, currently in Aries, its home sign, conjuncts with Chiron. Prior to conjuncting with Chiron, however, on the 19th of May, Mars will conjunct with the North Node. This is a great day. The 19th. Let's have a little fun here, shall we? As if we haven't already been having fun, but let's have a little fun here, shall we? On the 19th of May, we have the sun beginning its Alcyone conjunction. This same day, Mars in Aries at the 14 degree conjuncts with the North Node. Rewriting soul contracts, coming into a state of I am ready to take the next step on my soul mission, on my destiny path, connecting in with that which you were ready to birth into the world, perhaps. And as I said, all through this massive amount of stellar activity is moving through our soul star, soul, the star of our solar system, and insolating us with this cosmic activation. And our magnetic shield on Earth has thinned, allowing even more of this energy in. So I have just given us a bunch of dates to play with. A little bit I've shared on things that we can do. But before I close, I want to share some really easy ways. And even as I say easy ways, I'm cognizant that through all of this stellar activity, through all of this light coming into our Earth plane, Many of us may have been having some difficulties with ease. Isn't it funny that Venus through this is in Taurus saying, take it easy. Find your rest, find your luxury, find those moments, those things that help you find embodied pleasure. Part of the reason that we get to play with embodied pleasure during this time is because it's very important for us in order to, the words on this one are, let me just take a quick breath. And that'll be one of the suggestions that I have for us all as we're moving through this energy. When you feel it starting to spiral, just take a moment. The most powerful way that we can get into our bodies is through our breath. We can bounce as well. We can stand and walk barefoot on the earth. We can take a shower. We can work with grounding crystals like black tourmaline and shungite or smoky citrine, even red garnet like I have here. Lodestone would be another good one. But our breath, and feeling how our breath is not simply a mechanism of an inhale through our nose or mouth and an exhale through our nose and or mouth, but that it actually originates. Feel it originating in the area of your perineum, of your sacral and sacrum, of your root and navel chakras. Feel how you can get into your body more when you allow your breath to originate at the hara point. And to exhale from that place also. And yes, trees, running water. If you can get to a river with trees, if you can get to nature, that's absolutely amazing. And that will do wonders for helping you anchor and move this energy through your system. A big part of this activation is allowing the cosmic light to flow through you and up through Gaia, down through you into Gaia, and up through Gaia into you. We are all, Gaia included, and every being on Gaia, in Gaia, with Gaia, is receiving these same upgrades. How they manifest, how they present in each of us is unique to us. However, each and every living being, embodied and not, that calls Gaia home, is receiving this same light. I mentioned a couple of stones that could be really helpful. I said a grounding shower, and I want to elaborate a little bit more on what a grounding shower is, as opposed to just like getting into the shower. Part of the mechanism of a grounding shower is working with a spray, or you could bring fresh sprigs of lavender, or there's a plant called shower eucalyptus into the shower. This will help bring that earthly energy into your bathhouse, into your bath. I did not say take a bath. There's a reason for this. Baths are wonderful for cleansing, for clearing, for relaxing the system, and that would be a beautiful practice also. But the grounding is actually an activity of the shower because you're standing. So your feet are on the floor of your shower or bathtub, and you're standing, allowing the water to run from the top of your body down. So if you mix this in conjunction with having some grounding stones around, a candle perhaps that has a grounding scent like Palo Santo, allowing sage or Palo Santo to come into the room, whether you burn some before you step into the shower or you have a frequency spray that you can spray into the water before you step in. And the most important thing, setting the intent. As I step into this shower, I allow the water to wash over my being and pull with it anything that I do not need anymore down, as it also pulls the light codes that may be stuck in the mental realm, in the upper chakras down, and allows them to become more embodied. Remember, every droplet of water contains a prismatic beam of light. So as you're working with this shower, you're allowing this prismatic beams of light, all of these droplets of water, to move through all of your whole body. Let me feel if there's any other piece that wants to come in. Some of the things that you may notice and can be a good marker for if you really need some grounding is scattered or disorganized thoughts. A lot of sense of electricity moving through your teeth, really intense ear ringing. I've noticed that in general, muscle tension, especially up in the shoulders, and intense cramping in the hips and psoas can be a part of this energy moving through. One of the reasons for that is because the amount of light that's flooding into our physical bodies is hitting with any areas of density. So you may not notice it in your hips and psoas or in your shoulders and neck. You may notice it in your thighs or in your ankles. You may notice it in every joint of your body, and you're like, do I have rheumatoid arthritis? Like, what is going on? You may notice it in your digestive system or in your sinuses, in your eyes. Headaches can be really common, especially right at the fontanelle. One of the best pieces of advice that I can give for this is surrender. If you can allow it to flow through and remember that it is part of your evolutionary process. It is helping you to see and release old stories, old narratives, and bring more light into your embodied, your physical being. So anywhere where it hits a piece of resistance, a place where there's a little extra density, shake it out, roll it out, wiggle it out, sound it out, sound it out. A lot of light language might be bubbling up and out of you. If you need to close your eyes and put a cold compress on your eyes for a few moments, do it. But always come back to this remembering. Whenever you feel yourself skate out of it, come back to this remembering that this is a gift. This light is a gift. And that which it is releasing within you is also a gift. They are all frequencies of love, and they are ready to become their next highest expression. You may find yourself very emotional. You may find that you can't sleep, but you really feel like you need to sleep. You may find yourself rocking back and forth like this or in circles, unable to concentrate. All of this is perfect. Don't, if you can catch it going into a judgment about it, say, I see you, judgment, thank you, and let it go. During the specific stellar soul alignments, the invitation is to set an intention to work with each of these stars. And through your heart sight, in other words, that place that connects between your sight and your heart, between your mind and your heart, allow this energy to open up a portal of communication with these stellar dimensions. And with that intention of in the highest good and for love, in love, as love, see what they have to share with you. It may be rememberings of your incarnation mission. It may be rememberings of the evolutionary process that we are currently undergoing. It could be something completely different. Allow that curiosity. And with that, I'm going to sign off, as always, in always, with so much and many loves to you, from, through, and beyond the all dimensions. With one final little note, let me know in the comments if there's anything that popped for you in this video, how you feel these stellar dimensions, how you've been feeling these amazing amounts of light that have been traveling through and around and in and all around us. In a few days, I will have another video out for us that talks about the Sagittarius full moon and also the Venus point and Jupiter moving into Gemini. But today, it's all about these soul star connections. May you journey well.